my third year of studies, our academic head called me into his office. And I don't know about you, but you never want to be called in by an academic head when you're a student. Called me in, sat me down. He said, listen, 7 of your subjects are unaccounted for on the system. We lost them. And by the way, you also have to pay for them because we can't find any receipts. Obviously, I wasn't in a good spot then, but there was no other way. I had to do those subjects. The hard part was not the disappointment of not having those files on system. It's the fatigue that I built up over a 3-year time, working towards a goal and then just being reset again. But I had to get the job done, so I did. But I remember that deep fatigue I felt in my heart and that deep disappointment when he told me those things. I'm pretty sure you, in your life, you've also felt fatigue in a certain way. Maybe relationships, work, or some other endeavor. But fatigue is a part of life. And when we're fatigued, we are not ourselves. You're grumpy, you don't want to be around people, you don't have enough energy. It's not a good space to be in. And I don't think it's a space that God wants us to be in. In the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, the author speaks to this. He says, do not become fatigued in doing good. And I think the writer knew, and God speaking through him knew, that sometimes we do become fatigued. We really don't see the end. The light at the end of the tunnel is the proverbial train. What I felt when I read that part in Galatians was that the harvest of doing good things and pushing forward in God's kingdom, the time of harvest is twofold. It can be in the middle of the struggle. There might be a harvest that God has prepared. Or it can be at the end, coming out of the struggle. And us, as children of God, for us, it's important to tune in to what God tells us in our heart. When is our harvest time? Because if you have the perspective of when the harvest is, if it's the hard part, then you will receive strength to get through it. For us today, when we sit down and we read Galatians 6 verse 9, we can think about what am I sowing, what am I reaping, but more specifically, what is my harvest in this season of my life? What am I expecting from myself and from God in this space in terms of fruit on my life? And if it's the struggle, I can trust God in the struggle. And if it's after the struggle, I can look forward to that. So let's walk with God in accordance to His timing of the harvest in our lives.